welcome here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life. Appreciate your patience here this morning. Your boy has been under the weather and just dealing with that, and also dealing with technology, which is absolutely going to be my annoying moment of the week. Lord knows that that's coming. So they've got a lot of stuff to talk about here this morning on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life. We appreciate you being here every single Monday through Friday between 9 a.m. and 11 a.m. Eastern Time inside the Great Lakes Honda City studios. Great Lakes Honda City on 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York, has your next ride. New and used vehicles of all different shapes and sizes. You could go and take a look at their vast array of vehicles on 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. You can also get a sneak peek by going to GreatLakesHondaCity.com. That's GreatLakesHondaCity.com. And so make sure that you definitely head out there to Great Lakes Honda City. We appreciate everything they do for sales and service. They're open Monday through Saturday. And of course, my Honda CRV is something that I treasure. I've gotten many CRVs, and they've come from Great Lakes Honda City. And so I want to thank them for all the work that they do and all the amazing things that they bring to our community. It's not easy to go to a dealership. It's not easy to pick out a car. Great Lakes Honda City is a place that I go to that I have gone to for over a decade, and I appreciate them. I appreciate the work they do. I appreciate people behind the scenes. So much love and respect to Great Lakes Honda City. You could tune in to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora like you are right now, up and down the East Coast, the Midwest, the West Coast, and all around the globe on YouTube.com/WakeUpCallDT, on Facebook.com/WakeUpCallDT, and on WakeUpCallDT.podbean.com. We got a wonderful group of pieces here for you today. As you know, for those of you that listen to the show weekly, you know that we have our trio of signature segments every single Friday. So inside of MonPausPopcorn.com is what's popping. The annoying moment of the week, proudly presented by Carvel DeWitt. Lead, learn, evolve, ad-lib, and deliver. Proudly presented by Chick-fil-A Cicero. The top dog of the week, where we get to spotlight an individual, organization, team, group, and show them some love in the top dog of the week. Proudly presented by Canine Kamp Dog Daycare and Canine Kampground Dog Boarding. And then we will have a Bobcat Buzz special later on in this show in hour number 2. So a lot of great stuff coming up where sports meets life. Let's jump right into it with the annoying moment of the week.
Dan Tortora proudly brings you...
Is that for real? Are you kidding me?
The annoying moment of the week.
I really, honestly, I don't know how to respond to this.
Presented by Carvel DeWitt, 4322 East Genesee Street. It's what happy tastes like.
Do you have to be that crazy? I guess so. The annoying moment of the week this week, like I said, technology. This is pretty easy for me to bring you this week's annoying moment of the week because it's something that was annoying me this morning, and I definitely want to talk about it. So my annoying moment of the week, well, there's a couple, but I got to get to this one first, okay? We'll call the company Crapple, right? We won't say the name of the company, so we'll call them Crapple because that's what they've been. And they have this thing where it doesn't work, right? Where like you have your phone, and your phone is like fine, and you're downloading stuff, and you're putting stuff on there, putting pictures on there, putting videos on there, blah, blah, blah. And everything's working. Then all of a sudden it says your storage is full. And then like 2 years go by of it saying your storage is full, but everything keeps working. So you're like, all right, whatever. Like they say my storage is full, but my phone's still working. It's still bringing in pictures. It's still bringing in videos. So let's keep rocking and rolling with it. And then all of a sudden it says your storage is full after years of saying it, but now it means business. So now it's not allowing you to do certain things on your phone. Certain things are taking longer, and they're not like working right, or maybe you can't open something. So then you have to find ways around it. So you find ways around it by, deleting this picture, deleting that video, trying to, you know, you can not delete an app, but you can offload the app. So like it takes some of its memory, I guess, and its spacing and whatnot. And so you could do that. So most of the apps on my phone, long story short, most of the apps on my phone have been offloaded. So I can't just click on an app and use it. There's only a few that I can use because I've offloaded a bunch of other ones. So I've offloaded stuff so it tells me my storage is full. And like I told you before, it did that for like 2 years and nothing happened with my phone, and I was able to do everything I needed to do. I do a lot of work on my phone. Obviously, I own my own business. I'm a broadcaster, so I do a lot of work on my phone. My phone is like my computer throughout the entire day. And so I'm doing all this work on my phone, and all of a sudden it tells me, hey, we need more space. And I'm like, well, you said you needed more space before, and you were totally fine. And no, I need more space right now. So I'm like, okay. So then I look at what I have to do, and like I said, I delete this picture, I delete this video, I offload this app, and then I say, okay, I've done all this stuff. You said you needed space, so now I created space. So now I go to do my thing. No, we need more space. And then I'm sitting here going, but you just said you needed space, and I just gave you space. No, but I need more space. Okay, so you find out something else that you could delete and something else that you can offload, and you do that, and then it works. And then it says it again. And then you say, okay, so you need more space. So I've learned that if I take stuff off of my phone and then I shut my phone off and turn my phone back on, it's kind of like with a computer. When you delete a bunch of stuff in your memory, it doesn't like work right away. You have to like delete all the stuff in your memory and then restart it or shut it off and turn it back on so that it can like actually register that you deleted the stuff. I don't know why. Trust me, I don't know. I just do these things. I do the things that I know that work. So if something works, I kind of just don't even turn my brain on for it. I'm like, okay, if I go in here and I offload this and I delete this and I delete that, and the thing is like I had all this stuff on the phone and the phone was fine. Then I had a bunch of videos come in to celebrate my 21-year anniversary. So I've been sharing those messages, and then it's telling me, well, we don't have enough space. So then I deleted the messages that I had utilized. I had deleted a message that had just come in that was taking up the most space. So you would think when it says, I need space after I added something new, that when I take all of that stuff off and I take those videos off and I take the picture off and I offload apps just to be sure, I've done all of this stuff and it's like, nope, we need more. No, we need more. No, we need more. And it's been doing that since last night. So it has been extremely annoying and frustrating because I cannot do my job the way that I want to do my job if my phone keeps being an idiot. So Crapple, get it together. That's what I'm going to say. We're not saying the name of the company. We're saying Crapple. But it definitely has been a pain right in the tush, and it's not fun. It's not exciting. It's very aggravating. It's ridiculous for these phones to say, well, we don't have this and we don't have that and we don't have this and we don't. Yeah, okay. You had it this, and here's the thing that makes no sense. If I had 20 videos and you said you were full and I deleted 7 of them, then you're no longer full. So why are you playing like you're full? You just said you were. I deleted stuff and I've taken that off your plate, so now you should have space. No, I don't have space. I need more stuff taken off. Then I need more stuff taken off. Then I need more stuff taken off. And it's just become aggravating. It's become outrageously annoying. I don't like dealing with it. And I've taken off a bunch of things from my phone, and my phone is still telling me, we need more. Take more stuff. We need more stuff taken off. Like if you looked at my phone right now and you looked at the apps that I'm not using, there's a bunch of apps that I have to re-download. So I took all this stuff off, and then I was like, okay, now that I've taken all this stuff off, I can re-download this app, right? I can now re-download the app, and then it's like, no, you can't. You can't re-download the app because we have too much on here. And I'm looking at everything that's on here, and I'm saying, what possible thing can I take off of here now when I've already done all of this stuff? I've already offloaded all of these things. Why is this being a problem? So I don't know what to tell my phone. I don't know what my phone needs to hear, but it needs to get over itself and it needs to fix itself, because shutting it off and turning it back on like 10 times a day, 20 times a day, just so I could do my work is unacceptable. But we know that this company that we'll call Crapple has done things to people in the past when they wanted you to buy a new phone. They allegedly were making your battery die. I feel like I went through that with this company. So they're constantly wanting you to spend money, right? And one of my other annoying moments of the week is there used to be a headphone jack and there used to be a charger port. And then they decided, hey, we can make a lot of money if we don't put a headphone jack in phones anymore, and we just put the charger port. And in order to listen to anything on your phone through headphones, you have to put something in the charger port, and then that wire in the charger port is going to change into a headphone jack. So instead of just having that like headphone thing, like, you have like the little needle looking piece that you put into your phone, instead of having that, you have the normal charger thing. So you have to put that in there, and then that connects to something that you could plug in the headphone piece to. And if you want to charge your phone and listen to music at the same time, you have to get a splitter cable, which is this piece of plastic that costs you like $20 that probably costs 4 cents to make. So, all I can say is, Crapple, I'm on to you. I see what you're doing, and you're probably listening to me right now, but I live in a country where there's supposed to be freedom of speech and the ability for me to express myself and to talk about things that are wrong. And it's a racket, right? It's an absolute racket. I would never have a Crapple phone. Once again, I'm using something so we don't say the company because they are not a partner here and I'm not supporting them. So the only reason why I have a Crapple phone is because it does do a lot of great things. But it also is a piece of garbage because it tells you it has memory, it doesn't have memory. When it doesn't have memory, it works. When it has memory, it tells you it needs. It's a racket. It's a back and forth BS thing, trying to get me to spend more money, trying to get me to buy more stuff, and it's just absolutely ridiculous. And the thing is like I said, anyone with a normal brain would say, if this device is telling me that my storage is full and I delete my storage and I offload my app, then it should no longer be full. I've deleted the biggest files I have on my phone and it's still saying that it's full, which makes no sense. So that's what I can't figure out. That's what's annoying me. That's what I'm sitting here this morning looking at, saying to myself, why does this continue to be an issue? Why does it continue to be a problem? There's no reason for this. There's no need for this. It makes no sense. So whatever we're doing here right now, we need to just call it a day, and it needs to fix itself because this has been outrageously annoying for a very long time. I don't want to keep deleting stuff. And that's the thing is, I shouldn't have to keep deleting stuff. I like stuff on my phone. I like the things that I've put on my phone and kept on my phone. And if you saw the amount I'm doing it right now. If you saw the amount of stuff that I deleted off of my phone, you'd be like, oh, hey, Dan, you've actually taken a lot of stuff off your phone. You've taken it down to less memory than it's ever had before. So why is it giving you problems? Exactly. Okay. And I think it's a racket. I think they do these stupid things to our phones so that we can spend more money and buy stuff and upgrade stuff and blah, blah, blah. It just doesn't make any sense. So I love what Jerry said, yep, sure sounds like you're supporting them. I'm not, because any business that takes advantage of their customers should no longer be a business. And that's not me wishing bad on them. That's not me hoping bad on them. That's me saying morally, ethically, if you take advantage of the people that support you, then why support you, right? Why support you? I mean, the only reason why you would take out a headphone jack and make everything go through the charger port is to force people to spend more money. A headphone jack was one of the most basic things that was in a phone from back in the day. So the fact that you don't have one right now is a purposeful means to make money where you don't need to make it. You tell me that this phone costs $1,000? Really? $1,000? And every time I go to do something, it wants more money. And it wants more money, and it wants more money, and it wants more money. So let's just be real about a few things here. Okay? If it worked 3 weeks ago with all of this memory in it, and then I take stuff off of it and it's not working now, I'm going to call BS on it. Because if I'm doing what I can to take the storage off of it and you're still telling me that you need more and you need more, then all of a sudden it works. And then I'll do a bunch of things and it'll be fine, and I'll use more space than I allegedly had and it'll be fine. And then I'll use a little bit more and then it'll say no. You know, I always eventually get my work done because I always find a way because God is great. But it is annoying. So I need to say that. My other annoying moment of the week, I want to get to this one quick, is I was out last weekend and I was hanging out with somebody I know and her friend. And this guy came up to me. By the way, he had a porn stash on. If you don't know what that is, probably don't look it up on any device that you like. But he had a little, little porn stash. And everybody knows what it is when you say it. You know, and he had the hair and the, little 80s going on. And nothing wrong with it. His style, his life. Hey, I have a goatee. Some people don't like goatees. I love goatees. So not on women, but yes. So he came up to me and he said, "Hey man." And I said, "Hey, what's up?" He said, "The girl sitting next to the girl sitting next to you." So that was my friend's friend. He said, "What's her story?" I said, "I don't know." I said, "I just met her tonight." He's like, "Yeah, well, is she single?" I said, "Bro, I don't know. I just met her tonight." He's like, "Okay, well, should I ask her out?" I said, "I don't know, man. Do you?" And he was like, "Yeah, but like, I don't want to get rejected." And I was like, "I understand that. Like, I wouldn't want to get rejected either." He's like, "So what do I do?" I said, you got to live your life. You got to do you, man. Just do you." And he was like, well, should I do it? I was like, again, do what you got to do. Live your life. He said, "Well, it's up to you. It's up to you, man." He's like last call. It's up to you. And I said, "It ain't up to me. It's up to you. This is your life. Live your life." So that was just a weird situation to be in. Like, I understand you come up to someone and say like, "Hey," instead of just going up to the girl, you come up to me and say like, "Hey, what's her story? Is she single?" In this case, I didn't know if this girl was single. Now, I will tell you that she acted like she wasn't the entire night. Because I pay attention to that. She acted like she wasn't for the entire night. There was not a single moment where I thought that this woman was dating somebody. Not a single moment that I thought she was dating somebody. Not at all. So she didn't act like that way. And I pay attention. And again, I pay attention to that. Because when a guy or a girl is like, "Oh, okay, this person, they got somebody, but they're into me and blah, blah, blah," I want to remind you of a cautionary tale. It's a song I listened to when I was 12 years old by Mason 112. And the song said, "If she got with you when she already had a man, why wouldn't she cheat on you?" And that goes the same for speaking about a man. Like, if a man got with you when he had a woman, why wouldn't he cheat on you? So that is a cautionary tale to me. So when somebody acts like they're single and they're not single, that to me screams, stay away, red alert, it ain't safe. Because even if you are with this person, even if you end up dating this person, they got with you when they already had somebody. So why wouldn't they cheat on you? See, cheaters cheat. I'm not saying people can't learn. I'm not saying people can't evolve, because we're going to talk about learn, evolve, ad lib, and deliver in just a little bit here, proudly presented by Chick-fil-A Cicero. What I'm saying to you is not everybody does. And what I'm saying to you is if you end up dating someone by them going and doing somebody else dirty, why would you think they wouldn't do your dirty? And you can't be surprised if they do you dirty. Well, yeah, they did it to him, but it ain't gonna happen to me. I'm more attractive, I'm funnier, blah, blah, blah. Okay, you don't know what that man is. So the reality of it all is that situation was a unique situation, because the way that girl acted all night was that she was single. That's how she acted. Those are the conversations she had. She said a lot of things that night that made me think like, this girl is looking. She just, the way that she carried herself was that she was not dating anybody. So this guy comes up to me and says, "Should I ask her out?" I said, "Live your life, make your own decisions. you're a big man, like you're a big boy, you make your own decision. And he was like, yeah, but it's up to you. And I said, no, it's not. I don't want that on me. It's not up to me. Because if she said no, I don't want to hear something from you. So he was like, it's up to you. I said, it's not up to me. It's up to you. He's like, and then he did. He looked at me like he was a bartender. He was like, last call. He's like, what is it? And he's like looking at me like, what's your choice? What's your vote? Like, tell me what to do. And I said, I can't tell you what to do. You got to live your life. So that was an annoying moment of the week because I didn't want to be in that situation. Like I understand why he came up to me because he made it easier for himself. And when you go up to a woman, and this is what women don't understand about men, women that are feminists, that want equality, I will call you out on that because I do believe that men and women should be equal. I don't believe that God created men and women to not be equal. So I do believe that men and women should be equal. But when you say men and women should be equal, it cannot be only in these certain terms. If you ask for equality, then you're going to get everything that comes with it. And what comes with equality of a woman saying, I want equality with a man, what comes with that? You ask a man out. You pay for dinner. You call him. You text him. You seek him. Those are things that people will not do. When women ask for equality, you never hear them ask for that. When women ask for equality, you never hear them talk about picking up the check. You never hear them talk about saying, I'm going to go up and I'm going to ask a man out. So what a woman will almost never understand her entire life is how difficult it is for a man to come and ask you out. Because when we come up to talk to you, we don't know your sexuality. We don't know your living situation. We don't know if you're crazy. We don't know if you just took your ring off. We don't know if you're engaged. We don't know if you got a boyfriend that's in the bathroom right now. We don't know what your story is. We have no idea. We are walking up to a total stranger who could be really nice, really sweet, really kind, or really mean, or really taken. We could walk up to a woman who is absolutely all about dating us and being with us, and she has a boyfriend. And she's okay going out on that man. And then that boyfriend comes out of the bathroom. Now he wants to fight you in the parking lot when it was his girl's fault. How are you supposed to know she's got a man? You just walked into the bar. You never saw anybody around her. She's sitting there having a drink. You sat next to her. You didn't know this man went to the bathroom. You didn't know he stepped out. You didn't know he went to go talk to his friends. Be mad at her. Don't be mad at the man that came up that is an innocent bystander. Now, if I know you got a man and I come up to you, yeah, then that is a scumbag. That is a scumbag, right? But if you don't know, and that's what women will never understand because most women will never ask a guy out. Most women won't pay for dinner. Most women won't do those things. So all I'm saying is to the feminist movement, if you want equality, I'm here for it. But you got to take it all. You can't take some of it. You can't say I want equality except for when it doesn't suit me. You can't say I want equality, but I don't want to pay for anything. You can't say I want equality, but I don't need to have the courage to go up and talk to a man. If you want equality, then you can have it, but it comes with everything, right? You can't take pieces of things and then scream and rant and rave that it's equal, right? You have to take it all. Because if it was flipped in reverse and women were regarded higher than men in society, let's say, and then I as a man said, I want equal pay, I want equal rights, I want equal this, I would expect a woman to say, then I want you to pay for the bill, then I want you to ask me out. If you want to be equal to me, then be equal to me in all things. Don't be equal to me in some things, and the things that aren't convenient, you can just pretend like that has nothing to do with equality. So in the dating world, it is very, very difficult for a man to go up to somebody because a lot of men don't have that courage, all right? I don't want to say a lot of men don't have that courage. A lot of men are afraid to do it. A lot of men it doesn't matter what they look like either. But see, for me, I used to be nervous doing it, like in school, 8th grade. Now I'll do it. But, it's one of those things where you don't know if someone's interested or if they're totally disinterested. So this guy coming up to me, telling me, you make the decision for me, I put it as the annoying moment of the week because I've never in my life had somebody come up to me and say, it's on you, you tell me what to do, you have to tell me, you have to give me my decision. I was like, you're a big boy, make your decision. So I know what you're all waiting for. Did he ask her out? Yes. And it was a really weird exchange. It was a few words, and then she bumped his fist. And I will say this to all women and men out there. If somebody asks you out and you're not interested, do not bump their fist like you're bros from the streets. Okay? It's condescending. It's rude. It's ridiculous. Like, hey, would you like to go out with me sometime? No. Fist bump. What up, bro? See you next time I come to the bar. Bang. You know, like, that's such a stupid thing to do. So don't do that. And it's an awkward place to be in. I would like shake your hand, or I would say like, you know, I'm sorry, I'm dating somebody, but thank you. See, if someone came up to me and I wasn't interested, you know, I would probably say like, hey, I'm dating somebody. Thank you so much, but I'm not interested. Right? But I also can't lie. So I would say something along the lines of, oh, thank you. Not really looking for that. I appreciate it. Thank you. You know, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. You know, I hope you have a wonderful night. I'm not going to fist bump somebody, right? We're not fist bumping. I don't feel like men and women should fist bump unless they're like brother and sister. Then fist bumping is okay. Outside of that, leave that to like, that's just like, that's something that typically guys do. Like maybe women fist bump. I haven't seen it. I don't see women. I've been around a lot of women in my life and I don't see them go, what up, girl? Fist bump. I don't see that. But I do see guys, we do that, right? And I'll fist bump if like I think you have a cold or something's going on. I'll give you a little fist bump because I don't want your hands touching me. Boom, fist bump. I'll give you a little elbow. I'll give you a little elbow bump. Elbow, right? Just call it the eagle. Just give him a little wing. That's it. So, but yeah. So some annoying moments of the week. Just being around that scenario and having somebody tell me that it was on me to decide if he should ask a girl out. I was like, I don't want that pressure on me. I'm not involved. So I was like, no, because then if she says no, you'd come up to me and be like, thanks, man. Ruined my day. I don't want to ruin this poor kid's day. I wanted him to have a good night. And the more I learned about the person that he asked out, I mean, the more confused I got. So probably better for him. For now, I think, because that situation seemed interesting. But yeah, I mean, it's interesting because I'm not a bar guy, and I went out to a karaoke club, and I'm okay with that. Like I like to sing, whatever. So you know, going out there was fun, and it was interesting and unique, and I had a good time, a very good time. You know, it's just in the dating, it's just hard. It's really hard because, and you don't know if someone's telling the truth. Like they could say they have a boyfriend, but they don't. They could say they have a girlfriend, but they don't. You know what I mean? So the dating world, which I think a lot of people don't talk about because it's uncomfortable. And a lot of us, I mean, listen, if you're in your 30s, you've had a bad experience, right? At some point you've had, and the way that people are today, you probably had a bad experience in your 20s. But like, if you have tried to date, the chances that you had like a weird experience or a strange exchange, oh, I like that, strange exchange, then, I mean, those are pretty high. And so it kind of gives us cold feet in going and doing it again and asking somebody out again. I saw pretty girls in that bar that night, but I wasn't trying to, I was just trying to relax. I was trying to just sit and take it in and see what's up, listen to the music, hang out. One of my buddies showed up. I didn't know he was coming, so that was cool. So I got to hang with him. So, yeah. But somebody, you know, putting their future in your hands, and I'm a total stranger, don't do that to me. So, don't, because the thing is I don't want to see you hurt. You know, I didn't want to see her turn him down. And then, you know, and then you got to see the man, because then he just left. He just turned around and walked out. You know what I mean? I don't want his night to be ruined. I'm not saying she ruined it, but he wanted something. He didn't get it. And, you know, and I feel bad for the guy. So, you know, you can come up to me and ask me about my friends. I think that's a good way to do it. But don't ask me to make the choice for you. And by the way, if you're dating somebody, like, act like you're dating somebody. Because this girl didn't act like she was dating anybody at all. At all. So she put out that vibe. And if she don't want people asking her out, then she needs to put out the vibe that she's good. She's got somebody, right? I feel like, somebody that's dating somebody that's out there looking, that's just greed, man. There's people like myself and that guy that are actually out here looking for someone, and we don't have someone, right? I mean, I'm thinking he doesn't have somebody. I don't know. I don't know him. But yeah, try that the next time you go someplace. Go to the grocery store and be like, should I get this watermelon? Go up to a total stranger and be like, it's on you, bro. It's on you. I don't know what to do. You got to tell me what to do. I either get this watermelon or I don't, but you have to tell me. And they would be like, probably just stare at you and walk away. So with that being said, we're going to take a step aside. By the way, picking out a watermelon, a lot easier than dating. We'll take a step aside for a fast break, and we'll be back right after this inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios.
Hi, this is Amy from Mother's Cupboard, home of the whole frittata. We are open daily 6 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. For takeout orders, call 315-432-0942 and tune in to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora for our monthly food challenge and try our Wake Up Call signature menu item available 7 days a week. Here at Mother's Cupboard, we are Central New York, and it's our honor to serve you.
Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory remind us that every day is worth celebrating at 201 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York. Open Monday through Saturday in-store and always online at maandpaspopcorn.com. Serving our Central New York community and beyond, order anywhere, anytime at maandpaspopcorn.com. Stop in to get a tin at Ma and Pa's on 201 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York to get your half-price refills for the rest of your life. Come to Ma and Pa's for your holiday gift giving for family, friends, employees, and clients. And remember, for fundraising and events, to call 315-450-6272. That's 315-450-6272. Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory. How corny are you?
This is Jimmer Sikowski, owner-operator of Chick-fil-A Cicero, 7916 Brewerton Rd in Cicero, right in front of the Home Depot. I had a deep feeling that God wanted me to do something bigger with my life and to help people, help others. I kept putting Chick-fil-A in my life, and I realized as I was going through the franchise selection process that positively impacting the lives of others was really core to what we do here at Chick-fil-A. First of all, it starts with the food. The food is brought in fresh daily. We bring in local produce. We prepare to order in the kitchen. We hand bread our chicken. We hand spin our milkshakes. It's great food. It doesn't taste like fast food. I think the second thing is the way people feel when they come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. It's different. We try to treat people with intentional kindness here, which is very different and deeper than good customer service. And so I think it feels remarkable for most people to come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. And then lastly, the impact that we try to have in the community is very different. It's a big part of the expectation of every operator of a Chick-fil-A restaurant is that they're actively engaged in their community, they're a leader in the community, and they're making a difference. When they realize that what we're striving to do is to shine a little light in their life, that's a very, very different experience than you will have in any other quick service restaurant. And it's that remarkable experience that I think people will emotionally connect with.
And a welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life. Inside of the Great Lakes Honda City Studios, it is now time for us to jump into Lead, Learn, Evolve, Ad-Lib, and Deliver. Proudly presented by Chick-fil-A Cicero. Today's topic, not an eye for an eye. Not an eye for an eye. We live in a society of... Sometimes it feels like the promotion of get-backs, right? Somebody does something to you, what are you going to do to get back? What are you going to do to retaliate? What are you going to do to hit them with it, to get them for what they've done to you? Get backs. See, I don't believe in this stuff. I don't believe we should be getting back at anybody, right? Because it doesn't do anything good for society to be that way. It doesn't help anyone to be that way. It doesn't make us better to be that way. The golden rule, treat others the way that you want to be treated, right? Be kind to others. Be courteous to others. Listen to others. Enjoy others' company. Talk to them. Hear them. Don't monopolize a conversation. Don't disrespect. Truly build a relationship with people. That's something that shouldn't be hard, right? Kindness, generosity, it shouldn't be difficult for us to do. But for some people, it feels like pulling teeth. For some people, they struggle with being kind, being generous, being giving. Especially when it's someone who has disrespected us. Especially when it's someone who has treated us poorly. We struggle with being kind. We struggle with being courteous. We struggle with not wanting to give them an eye for an eye. Right? We want to retaliate. It's human nature, right? It's human nature to not want to be, we don't want to be hurt, right? We don't want to be pushed down. Everybody has their limit. I tell people that all the time. I was like, even Gandhi had a limit. Even Gandhi's like, okay, you know what? That's enough. Not saying that Gandhi was going to go out there and be violent. Not saying Gandhi was going to go out there and do bad things. But I'm sure Gandhi got to a moment where he said, you know what? This is enough. He might have yelled, right? He might have had a loved one over and just talked about it, talked about how he felt, talked about what's going on. Because we all have that breaking point. We all have that point where we say, you know what? That's enough. That's really enough. But we cannot give an eye for an eye. You know, they say an eye for an eye makes the whole world blind. Because if you think about it, if someone pokes your eye out and you poke the person next to you's eye out and they keep going, then eventually it comes all the way back around to you and then they poke your other eye out and then you poke the other eye out of somebody else until everybody runs out of eyes. So an eye for an eye does make the whole world blind. If we continue to take, somebody has to stop that domino effect. Now, I'm not saying it's easy, right? Well, Dan, they punched me in the face. I got to punch them back. They call me a name. I got to call them a name. I will tell you this, and I'll make an example of it. I was dating somebody years ago, right out of college. And one night, she slapped me in the chest. She just hit me in the chest. And I stopped when she did it. And I was silent. And I was like, don't do that. Don't do that. You know, you don't have a right to hit me. We can't call it a joke, you know. Oh, I was just hitting you. I just tapped you, whatever. No. While you were angry, while you were arguing with me, you slapped me in my chest. That's not acceptable. So I told her, I said, you know, you doing that to me reminds me of when somebody else had been physically abusive in a relationship. And I don't appreciate that stuff. I don't like that stuff. You know, I remember I don't know exactly what I said, but I was like, don't do that. It reminds me of this. And as soon as I said it reminds me of this person, they flipped out. They were not mad at themselves for what they did, not upset with themselves, not apologetic. It was, how could you compare me to that person? And I was like, how could I, who was hit by one woman, compare you, a woman, for hitting me? How could I possibly make that comparison? Two women hitting me. So, and why women think that that's okay, it's not. Because men, we're supposed to shut up and not talk about it, right? Because we're men. But I don't think anybody likes getting hit. And if you're a man like me who will not hit a woman, then she's hitting you and you have to like walk away, restrain her, you know, hold her arms so that she doesn't keep hitting you, block it. It's not a good place to be in. And so, anywho, so I'm in this situation, and when I told her that it bothered me and it reminded me of that, she started swearing at me, and she called me like 40 names. I mean, I think she called me things I didn't even know existed. And then after hearing all of that, I sat on the edge of the bed and I called her one name. And she said, now we're even. And I said, excuse me? She said, we're even. I said, I owe you 39 names, 40 names. She said, no, me saying 40 names is the equivalent to you saying one because you don't really say this stuff. So we're even. And I don't know how that math is mathing, but what I will say to you is it was in her not in her nature. It was her choice that when she fought with people, she swore and she yelled and she called you names. That was not something I wanted in my nature. So in that moment where she said all that stuff, and I could have asked her to leave, I could have walked out of the room, I could have, gone and done something. I mean, like, I was in my apartment. It was my place. When it was nighttime, I could have asked her to leave. The issue with asking her to leave is I would imagine that I picked her up and brought her to my apartment, and they didn't have Ubers back then. So, I still would have had to drive her. See, the problem is when somebody argues with you in a relationship and they're in your place and they came in your car, there's really no great scenario for you outside of them getting a taxi or now an Uber or a Lyft. Because if they're fighting with you and you want them to leave, you have to drive with them in the car, which I've done that. I don't want to have to do that. If you take a shower, well, now if they want to keep fighting with you, now you're stranded in the shower. So you're stranded in your own place, because if they decide to fight with you, wherever you go, you're in the confines of your walls, and they're just going to keep chasing you around the house. And in that moment, looking back on it, I shouldn't have called them a name. Even though they called me like 42 names, I shouldn't have called them a name. Because to me, that's an eye for an eye. Instead of just being like, you know what? I really don't like the way you're talking to me. I don't appreciate it. And the thing that people don't understand, because so many things go on behind closed doors, when people are dating and there's an argument and there's a fight, if you're like me, you do feel trapped. Because, I remember one time somebody was fighting with me in my home, and they had a car. They could leave. I locked the door to my bedroom in my own house because it was 2 o'clock in the morning, and I just couldn't. I didn't know what we were fighting about. I didn't know why we were fighting. I just wanted to go to bed. I was so aggravated that I allowed this person into my life and into my home, and I just wanted to sleep. And I remember looking at them saying, can you stop fighting with me? And they stopped. They stood there, and then they said, no. And I was like, excuse me? Like, I said, hey, can we just stop fighting? And they said, no. And they kept yelling, banging on my door, da-da-da-da-da. And I literally locked my dog and I in my bedroom in my own home. So for men that think that it doesn't happen to us, it does. For women to think, oh, I don't have to deal with it. It's just a great unfortunate. Dating is a difficult thing to do. And, but with anything, not an eye for an eye, right? If we pay people back with the hate and the disgustingness and the rudeness and the unforgiving, lashing out mentality, if we give back to people sin, then all we do is create more sin, right? Somebody hit me with their car, so now I'm going to hit them with my car. So now you just got two damaged cars. You know what I mean? And, well, yeah, but their car is now more damaged than mine, or now, it's like people want to one-up each other. We shouldn't be seeking an eye for an eye, because it does make the whole world go blind. And we live in a society right now where people are just like, yelling at strangers over politics. Do you realize that politics succeeded in dividing the country? Do you realize it doesn't matter who wins the election anymore? Did you realize that? It doesn't matter who wins the election, because whoever wins, people keep fighting. And the government wins, actually. Because the longer we stay divided, the easier we are controlled. Right? You have two polarizing ends, two different parties on opposite sides. Right? And you have these polarizing elements to it. There's people in the parties that are not polarized. There's people in the parties that maybe will listen to both sides and try and make the best thing come about and whatnot. But we live in a society where we have polarized ends. And no matter who wins anymore, we fight with each other. Why are we fighting with each other? Why are we fighting in the grocery store? Why are we fighting on social media? Why are we fighting? You know what I mean? There's no reason to fight. Well, Dan, we have to fight with each other because they're not understanding me and I'm not understanding that. No, okay, well, how are you going to understand each other if you're screaming at each other? I don't understand why we have to fight. I don't get why we have to fight. I mean, if I don't agree with you and you don't agree with me, like, I'll have a conversation with you, but I won't have a disrespectful conversation with you. Like, I have talked to people that don't believe in a lot of things that I believe in or didn't, think that this person was going to do this or do that. And I've had full-blown conversations, like hours of conversation with those people. And we were fine until that person started to become a hypocrite and started to put me in a place of, like, you have to listen to what I have to say, and what I have to say is research, but whatever you say, I'm going to question. And I got kind of just over having a conversation with that person. You don't have to agree with me. We never have to agree. There's people that watch and listen to this show that have different religions, different politics, different backgrounds. But I have this belief in the truth that we're all God's kids. And if we're all God's kids, then if someone swears at me 40 times, I shouldn't swear back at them once, thinking I get another 39 cracks at this thing to become even. I should look at this thing and say, if I'm not somebody that wants to swear and call somebody a name, then when this person does it to me, I should ask them to leave, as opposed to I should let them continue to tear me down until I snap, right? Because, again, everybody has their breaking point. We all have a point of no return where we say, that's enough, I'm not taking this anymore, and I'm over it, right? I'm over it. Stop calling me names, stop saying that to me, I'm over it. And it's unfortunate that it comes to that with us. It's unfortunate that, we've gone through those things as human beings, but we've all been there with somebody where they push us to a point where we're no longer being ourselves. And I'm not going to make anything better. You calling somebody a bad name doesn't take back the bad name that they called you. You being racist back to someone doesn't take away the racism that you faced. You being sexist doesn't take away the sexism that you just faced. Whatever you've gone through and whatever's happened to you, doing it to somebody else doesn't rid yourself of it. The only way to rid yourself of the pain that has happened to you is to work through it. That's the only way to rid yourself of it, is to work through it. You just have to work through it. Because what people say and what people do, I can almost promise you that being mean back to a mean person, swearing back at a swearing person, threatening a threatening person is probably just going to heighten that person's whatever negativity that they're already bringing towards you. It's not going to make it better. It's not going to make your relationship safer. And I mean, swearing back at someone who swore at you, I can't imagine that that's going to make that person stop swearing. So the best thing that I could tell you is, an eye for an eye is never going to help this world to see. No one is going to see your side of the story if you poke their eye out. And if you're around people that are poking at your eyes, get away from those people. Rid yourself of that. And in some cases, it's harder, right? It's your parents, it's your siblings, it's somebody you married, so you feel stuck. But I could promise you that you will continue to feel stuck and nothing will change if you stay in that space. The only way to change your life is to change your life. The only way to change your life is to change your life. It's not going to change itself. So if you're around people that are poking you in the eye, then you need to get away from those people. And that could be work, that could be family, that could be a relationship, that could be a friendship. But when you are in a place where someone is poking at your eyes, the only thing that that's going to do is provoke you to want to do it back to them. And that's not healthy for you, and it's not healthy for them. So, someone who tries to poke your eyes out is never going to see your point of view. That's something we need to remember. This has been Lead, Learn, Evolve, Ad-Lib, and Deliver, proudly brought to you by Chick-fil-A Cicero on 7916 Brewerton Road in Cicero, New York, from the amazing owner-operator Jim Sikowski and his incredible team that you get to see in videos called The Light Between Us, which air every month, and we have an all-new video coming up this month, which I cannot wait to share with you, and so you got to make sure that you're looking out for that on all of our wonderful channels. We'll take a step aside for a fast break. When we come back, we will have a very special guest, and because I know that she's listening, because she's in the queue right now, I'm not going to say what we're bringing back. It's something positive, but I want to surprise her a little bit. That'll be coming up right after this. In these unique times, there are those in our community that give us a sense of normalcy and positivity. Pizza Man on 50 Oswego Street in Baldwinsville has been here for you for over 35 years and is here now. Call 315-638-1234 or order online at pizzamanbville.com to bring those familiar tastes into your home. And remember to come see our monthly on-site broadcasts centered around the community and our Baldwinsville Bees. Pizza Man in Baldwinsville. Any way you slice it, they are always here for you. Looking for your next ride? Look no further than Great Lakes Honda City, located on 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Serving our community for decades, their new and pre-owned vast array of vehicles are available to you Monday through Saturday on site. To search from home, shop at GreatLakesHondaCity.com. Call 315-365-5576 to set up an appointment. That's 315-365-5576 for Great Lakes Honda City, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Great cars, great people, Great Lakes.
All right, you need to come out here and get yourself the Brooklyn Pickle. I was talking about this with one of my buddies. I was like, yo, there's no better sandwich in the state of New York than the Brooklyn Pickle. And now that I found out that they're going down to North Carolina, we are taking over your taste buds everywhere you are, wherever you're going to be. You need to get yourself out to the Brooklyn Pickle. Pinehurst, you just realized that you found yourself the best sandwich shop that you're ever going to have. This is a glorious moment. It's a blessing to your community. You're welcome. Brooklyn in the house, baby. Go over to the Brooklyn Pickle. You already know what it is.
You heard the man. Head to Brooklyn Pickle Pinehurst on 1788 Old Morgantown Road in Southern Pines, North Carolina. And a welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports meets life. Very happy to have an all-new Bobcat Buzz here for you this morning in our exclusive multimedia marketing partnership with the Bryant Stratton College Bobcats of Syracuse. We bring you student athletes, coaches, and administration every single month, celebrating the stories of men's and women's basketball, men's and women's soccer, and more. And my next guest has never graced the stage here before, and I'm very happy for the opportunity to share this time with her as I bring her on picture in picture. And so we are here with Kadijah Jones. And Kadijah, I want to do something here. I didn't want to tell you what it was, but I'm going to do this right now. And so I'm not going to apologize for it because you deserve it. Kadijah Jones is our top dog of the week this week, proudly presented by Canine Kamp Dog Daycare and Canine Kampground Dog Boarding. If you don't know the story of Kadijah Jones, played at Bryant Stratton College of Syracuse on the women's basketball team, and this season an assistant coach for the team and was asked to step into the leadership role. Tae Baker went out due to injury, had surgery, and Kadijah Jones took over this season, navigated through the schedule, navigated through the roster, navigated through injuries and all the things that went on. People could have given up, right? They could have just folded. They could have made excuses, but she became the leader of this team. She helped these women to move forward because you have to remember, when adversity strikes, when things happen out of your control, you have a choice: fold or keep moving. And for these women, including our seniors, this was their last ride. And so for this to be taken in any other way than taken seriously, than given respect and focus, those women would have suffered. These student athletes would have suffered. KD stepped up for the student athletes, stepped up for this team, stepped up for Bryant Stratton College of Syracuse, and that is why she is our top dog of the week, proudly presented by Canine Kamp Dog Daycare and Canine Kampground Dog Boarding. So there you go, KD. I wanted to do it without you knowing. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, no, it's my honor. And listen, I appreciate what you've done because, you know, obviously Tae has been with the program for a while, and as an assistant and as the head coach. And when he went out and he was having surgery and whatnot, my question was, what's going to happen with the team? What's going to happen with these young women? What's going to happen with moving forward? We are in the season. So bring me into everything that did happen from behind the scenes and how you ended up taking over.
Well, first of all, I started as assistant coach, helping Tae out, just like, doing the basics, making sure the players is ready to play, motivated, and just ready to play. And then literally starting for the second half of the semester, Tae went out with an injury, and he asked me if I could step up. And I was more than honored to step up, coach these girls at this level. And I was a little nervous because I was last year just a player. And now I'm coaching some of the players that I was just playing with. So it was kind of tough, but I got through it.
Yeah, and like you said, last year you were a player. This year you're asked to oversee and be the acting head coach with Tae being out. For you with that, like you said, you were a little bit nervous to take on that role. What made you say yes ultimately?
Well, honestly, I love basketball. It's what makes my heart beat, honestly. And I want to go further, as far as I could go with this basketball. If it's not me playing, if I could teach and give all the knowledge that I know with basketball, then I don't mind doing that.
And so for you, like you said, you want more for yourself. You want to be connected to this basketball world. To jump from player to head coach right after you play is very atypical. You're in a small world of men's and women's basketball, or really any sport, to be a player and not go to grad assistant, director of basketball operations, assistant coach, then a head coach, and some mixture of that. So for you to take that jump, why did you believe in yourself to do it? What is it about you that made you feel like I can do this?
Well, my name, first of all, is KD. I didn't get the name because Kevin Durant, he is one of my favorite players, but I always tell people I was KD before Kevin Durant, and it's just my confidence. Even when I'm on a basketball team, I don't want people to think that, I'm saying that I'm the best player on the team because I'm cocky, this, that, or third. I just know that I'm that good, and I could I could make others better. So
And so for you, you take over this role, you become the acting head coach for the second half of the season. How did the women respond on the team? Because you had teammates, right? You were on the team last year, so you're now coaching your teammates. How did they respond?
they responded very well. It was kind of hard because, like I said in the beginning, like I didn't want them to think that like anything like above them or whatever, this, that, and third, because like I said, I was just a player. So but I do understand that they need to, like, not need to, but it's a level of respect there. Like, y'all respect me, I'll respect y'all, this, that, and the third. And anything that I'm saying, like, is not to, like, put y'all down, is what I see that's going on, and I'm trying to help you out. But other than that, they responded very well, very, very respectful. Like, it was great.
Do you feel like you were? I mean, how did you make that jump from being their teammate to being their head coach? Because there's coaches that struggle when they're an assistant coach to be a head coach, and you were an assistant coach this year, but going from assistant coach to head coach, because some people say it's like, when I'm an assistant coach, I'm a big brother or a big sister. When I'm the head coach, I'm mom or dad. So when you're a teammate and you go to head coach, you're like a friend to now being mom. So how did you do that?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna get into too. Like, I had to learn that, like, yes, we are friends, but there's a I have to learn how to, like, get put the friend stuff aside, and, like, I'm your head coach. I'm trying to teach you something, and that's that. If you want to talk about something, like, afterwards, outside of basketball, then we could. But right now, while we in the gym, while we, like, doing this basketball stuff, I'm just your head coach. So I had to, like, learn, like, we're friends, but like, right now, I'm not your friend. Like, I'm your head coach. I'm trying to teach you something. You're doing something wrong. I need you to do this, and that's that.
Do you feel like the message got through? I mean, do you feel like by the end of the regular season, they were listening to you, they were respecting you?
Yes, I do believe towards the end, like in the beginning, it was a little hard. Some of them, they had, like, their egos, but it worked out towards the end.
And how long do you feel like it took from when you took over as an acting leader of this team, of the women's basketball team at Bryant Stratton, Syracuse, to the end of the season? How long was it from, okay, some of them are listening to me, some of them are not, to, I got the team's attention? What can you say to kind of that journey in between and how long that took?
I would say, well, honestly, like, from me being the assistant coach to going into being the head coach, I would say, like, me becoming the head coach, and probably, like, let's give that a week or so. So the second season started in February. Like, we started playing games. I want to say after maybe the second game, they started to buy in, like, started to understand, like, yo, I'm just here to help them out, finish out the season, make them better, and yeah.
So for you, KD, and KD, I got to ask you this because I don't know, how old are you?
I'm 29.
29 years old. Okay, because you on the sideline, in my opinion, you looked like you were in your element. So I'm going to ask you this question. Now, last night, Stephen A. got asked a tougher question than I'm going to ask you. Stephen A. got asked if he was going to run for president, and he wouldn't answer the question. But I'm going to ask you this question, and I want to know a firm yes or no. Having stood on the sideline, having been an acting head coach, is this what you want now? Do you want to be a head coach of a program?
Yes, I do. I love, like, giving out, because I learned that knowledge is power, regardless of what you're learning, what you, like, trying to take in. Knowledge is power. So I love, like, giving the knowledge that I know, especially with basketball. Like, I've been playing basketball since I was, like, 4 years old. Basketball, like, AAU teams, all that. So I just feel like I do have a love for it, and if I'm gonna give anything in this world, that's what I want to give, like my basketball knowledge.
And for you, obviously, you've had some time to be around the new leader of athletics, Brooke Paro, and you knew Brooke before that. What is she said to you? I mean, going into this role, and like you said, when Tae said, "Hey, I'm going to be out. Can you take this over?" What role did Brooke have in it? Did she talk to you at all? Just what you could say to that effect.
Yes, Brooke, she is an amazing person. She did have a conversation with me because I was a player last year, like, kind of struggling with grades, this, that, and third, or whatever. But she was always like, there. And then her becoming, sorry, I forgot the position she's in, but her becoming the new position that she's in, she has been amazing, been on top of everything, and I'm looking forward to working with her and Bryant Stratton moving forward as an assistant.
So for you looking at the opportunity to stay on with this women's basketball team at Bryant Stratton College of Syracuse as an assistant?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Now this is another very difficult question. Tae talks about how he could still ball. He could still shoot. He could still play. You said you were KD before KD. If I put a healthy Tae Baker on the floor with KD Jones, who wins?
Me. Me, for sure. I it's crazy. LeBron, he was one of my other favorite players, but I would sit here and say I could guard LeBron. Like I'm that confident. Like, yeah.
Well, my thing is, I think anybody can guard LeBron because LeBron doesn't. He has skill, he has talent, but I feel like he kind of. I don't know. I don't know if he sees the game the way I see the game. I don't know how he views it. I love it, but I love it. There's a lot of things with LeBron, Katie. There's sports.
Yeah, I know we can have a conversation on that. With me and LeBron, it's like a love-hate thing, but. Yeah,
he's very talented, but the sportsmanship, the respect of the game, the respect of other teams, the respect of his teammates. There's like Michael Jordan made other people better. I don't know that LeBron makes people better. I think he uses people.
See, that's a good point, man. I might put that on one of my podcasts, man.
So
that's a good point.
So if you had a Mount Rushmore. And I want to do men's and women's basketball. So we're going to do women's basketball first. Mount Rushmore, 4 faces, all time. Who are the 4 women you put on Mount Rushmore to represent basketball in America?
I'm honestly glad you, all right, so I'm going to be honest. Me playing basketball for so long, I've probably been to 1 WNBA basketball game. But with that being said, for the past 4 years, I ain't gonna lie, I just now started watching women's basketball, so I'm not very fond of women's basketball. I'm not even gonna lie.
Okay, all right. So what is it about? So I mean, you play the game, you love the game, you love to coach the game. What is the disconnect in watching the game?
Well, what I've learned from watching the game for the past 4 years, and just hearing other people talk about the game, women's basketball, I see that with women's basketball, it's still a lot of fundamentals. It's still the game of basketball. If you look at basketball nowadays, with high school, even in the NBA, it's a lot of one-on-one play. Everybody wanting to be the star. Is no Spurs basketball type shit. Oh, sorry, type stuff. Spurs basketball and Spurs when Tim Duncan and Olin when they was on the team. That was one of my favorite, basketball teams of all time. The way they moved the ball, the way they played with each other. I feel like that's how women's basketball, is played. Very fundamental.
So you said that, you've been playing it your whole life, so you haven't really watched women's basketball, but you respect the fact that it's fundamental. You respect the fact that it's still the game of basketball. So even though you haven't seen a lot of WNBA games, do you feel like you want to be, do you want to be more connected to watching it, or is it just you want to coach it and you want to pave your own path? Because for some people, it's like, okay, I'll give you an example. Like, as a broadcaster, I don't listen to a lot of other broadcasters because I'm working so hard in my craft that, like, if I'm out here listening to this and that, like, I'm doing my thing. Now, if I'm cleaning or I'm doing something, like, I'll listen to certain people. I'll listen to Joe Rogan. I think he's real about stuff, so I'll listen to what he has to say. But I'm typically doing my own thing. Is that kind of where you've been with women's basketball, that you've been playing and coaching, that it's kind of like, I'm not going to be watching this stuff because I'm just kind of focusing on my own stuff?
Nah, that's a great point. And to piggyback off of that, I do probably want to, like, do my own path. Like, I would love to, like, keep on continuing watching women's basketball, just learning, like, the game, how they really play or whatever. But that's a great point.
So if you had a Mount Rushmore for men's basketball, who are the four faces that go there?
KD, he got to be number one. Larry Bird, I liked him as a player too. Michael Jordan, because he is basketball. I don't understand why there's a debate between LeBron, Kobe, and him. Like, I get it or whatever, but it's no topping MJ. So that's 3. And I'm gonna go with the new generation right now, just cause, like, Anthony Edwards. I like him.
Okay, all right. Now, you said KD. That was like the number one, the easy name for you. You got the KD nickname as well. What is it about Kevin Durant that you love the most? Why be so connected with KD?
He is a great, like, basketball player. The way he scores, the way he go out there and just plays basketball. One of his favorite things that he said is that he just want to play basketball. Like, it's his job. He gotta, like, talk to the media, this, that, and third. But he just want to play basketball. Like, he loved basketball. He just want to play basketball, and I feel like I see that in me. And then the whole situation with him going to Golden State, like, everybody was saying how he was, like, bandwagoning, trying to go to a super team. But I honestly don't think that was that. Like, it was one interview, I can't remember, but he said something like he just wanted to play with and I don't think he was saying that Wessel Westbrook or OKC wasn't, like, a contending team, but he was just saying, like, he wanted more, he wanted better. And I understood that. Like, even when he went there to play at Golden State, I don't think that he went there and didn't do nothing. He went there and had won 2 championships, 2 MVPs. So what more can you ask for him? And then even when he went to Brooklyn, he had the team on his back. Like,
yeah,
I don't understand what's the hate on KD, but he just want to play basketball.
Well, and I would say, back to those people, did LeBron not do that in Miami?
Thank you. And that's what I'm like. My thing with LeBron, I love LeBron when he was came in the league, when he was on Cleveland. Once he made that change to Miami Heat, I feel like his whole game style kind of changed. Like, he wasn't as aggressive as, like, he was when he was on Cleveland. And I feel like he did inventing flopping. I'm not gonna lie, the way he used to flop was crazy. But
yeah,
and don't get me wrong, like, LeBron, I try to give him his respect, all that. Like, he has done a lot or whatever. But yeah,
I mean,
King, I won't call him that.
Yeah, no, I'm not calling him the king either. I want to go back to your team, though, and the queens that we have, the seniors, Eunice, Janae, Dee. They've all been on the show. They've all been here in our exclusive multimedia marketing partnership with Bryant Stratton College of Syracuse. They've been in the Bobcat Buzz. Dee was in it last season, and Eunice and Janae joined me on the court to celebrate their senior day. Dee was obviously taking care of a family matter, but we celebrate her as well. What do you want to say to your teammates, and as well as those that you coached? what and individually, what would you like to say to D? What would you like to say to Eunice? What would you like to say to Janae to kind of speak to each of their personalities and what they meant to the team?
Well, so with all three of them, like I said, even before playing with them, and I got like I'm gonna say something individually about all three of them, but with all three of them, before I even played with them or even got a chance to coach with them, I also played against them. I went to Bryant Stratton Rochester when they had a women's basketball team, and we was the better Bryant Stratton because I was on the team. Now let me stop. But even like playing against them, like seeing them from when I first seeing them, Eunice, Janae, and D, they have
we lost you for a second there. You said the three of them had what?
Oh, they strive tremendously. Like from seeing them playing against them to now, I seen big changes within them. Deontay D, I want to say I was kind of sad that I didn't get a chance to coach her this season because she was injured. So I would have loved to coach her, teach her some things or whatever. Janae, she's a tough cookie. Like I love her game. I love her. She's so quiet, but when she talks or whatever. But I love her game, aggressive. I'm just once again, I'm kind of sad with her injuries. With Janae, I understood that she had an injury, but I was always on her come on Janae, I need you to do this, I need you to do that. But I knew that she was hurt or whatever. But Janae, I love her to death. Love her game, love her personality, love her to death. Now on to Eunice. Eunice. So with Eunice, like I said, I played against them, and Eunice, when I first seen Eunice, and I hope she don't this is just me being honest or whatever, but she wasn't as good as what she is now. I see that she done got way much better, learned the game more, and it was literally an honor to play with her and play against her, really. Because when I played against her, I feel like she was just coming into the basketball scene or whatever. But from seeing her, from when I first seen her to playing with her to coaching her, it's great, and I wish the best for all three of them.
Coming from KD Jones here. KD, for you, before we get into something called Rapid Fire, where we get to put each other on the hot seat and talk about any subject, basketball or not, what does the future look like with you and Tae? Is it you guys running it back next year? What does this look like?
Nah, we for sure running it back, and I want to say for Coach Tae, I really do appreciate Coach Tae. Even me coming to Syracuse, I was having trouble, finding a school, trying to get into a school or whatever. I feel like he was the only one that really took a chance on me, believed in me, and no matter what, he was just KD, I got you. School, basketball, that's all. We gonna get it done. And even with me, with my school year or whatever, he always looked out. He was, when the school year ended, he was like, yo, KD, I got this position for you. Just stay locked in. I got you, man. Staying locked in with Tae, I really do appreciate him and thank him.
And I appreciate those words as well. I know Tae cares a lot. I know that obviously you do as well. I think it suits you, though. I mean, seeing you on the sideline, I think it suits you. I think it definitely does, and that's a compliment. It just seems like you belong there. So I hope that this is only the beginning for you in that respect.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Of course. So let's jump into rapid fire. KD Jones, Bobcat Buzz here in our Bryant Stratton College of Syracuse exclusive multimedia marketing partnership with the assistant coach and acting leader during the 2024-25 season with Tae Baker, the head coach, out. And KD, you get to ask me the first question here inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios. What do you got?
So I want to hear your thoughts on because I've been I'm from New York City. I feel like that's kind of one of the meccas of basketball, whatever. And the way, like, basketball is going, how all this one-on-one basketball, like, I just want to hear your thoughts on, like, what do you think the game is now? Like, basketball is now.
I think it's kind of like a Broadway show. I think in a lot of cases it's a joke. And I mean, when I grew up playing, and I still remember in high school, we had a play called motion. And if we came down the floor and the point guard's dribbling the ball with his right hand and he's on his right side, then everything had to start on the left. And if he put a one up, then we're running a pick coming up. If he puts the fist up, then we're running picks going to the sides. I mean, I still remember those things. We had out of bounds plays. We played a 2-1-2. We played a box and one. We played a 1-3-1. We played a 2-3, a 3-2, man to man. Like when I watch certain basketball and Division I athletes are not running plays, Division I athletes are not working together. They're not boxing out. They're not diving for loose balls. They're not trying to tip the ball back. They're not going after offensive rebounds. They think every shot's going in. They're halfway down the floor when they take the shot. Nobody's helping anybody. Nobody's setting screens. No pick and rolls. I mean, when I see a lack of, and this is to play into respect for the women's game, when I see a lack of fundamentals in basketball that that not all men's teams, but some men's teams have gotten into. I mean, I talk to people all the time, and the older that people are, the less likely they are to watch the NBA. Like when I talk to someone in their like 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, they'll tell you, I used to watch, but I don't watch it. My dad hasn't watched the NBA since like 1999. And to him, because it's not basketball anymore, it's 1-on-5. There's no plays. There's no, and so to him, he's lost that. He'll watch college basketball, but he's not watching pro anymore. So where do I think the game is going? I think we've gotten into, with NIL and the transfer portal, I think we've played into the me society. We played into lack of responsibility, no accountability, no competition. I'm just looking out for myself. I'm going to go to 4 teams in 4 years, 5 teams in 5 years, 5 teams in 4 years, whatever. But I think what it's really come down to is a me-centric mentality with a lack of fundamentals has caused people like me to be frustrated because there's teams that I will watch like Duke and like North Carolina and Gonzaga and so on and so forth that are fundamentally sound and that do a lot of great things. There's coaches that just know how to coach, like Rick Pitino at St. John's. I have no surprise that he's got the Red Storm relevant again. So to me, basketball needs to be basketball. And when it starts to just look like street ball, that's where I turn around and say, well, if you're on the floor, you're talented. But street ball, you're just hoping to outscore somebody. You're not playing defense. You're not running plays. You're not doing the little things. To me, if I want to be on a championship team, I want to be on a fundamentally focused team that respects the game. And I think that there's some stuff that has gotten so personal, like NIL and the transfer portal in college, where there's a disrespect of the game. And I think, in the NBA, I feel like guys are like fighting for endorsements and not fighting for each other. Not everybody, but some of them. And I think that some of those names like LeBron, if LeBron is the face of the NBA, then the face of the NBA is conceited and selfish. And I don't like that.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you on that one. I could say that this basketball season I haven't even watched. I might probably watch 1 or 2 games, but yeah, I haven't really been even watching the NBA. And what I learned with me just coming into the coaching scene. Hello?
Yeah.
Am I good?
Yeah.
I learned that it's a lot of teaching and not a lot of wanting. Like the people that's teaching, the people that's taking in the information, they don't want to learn it. They think they know everything, or they be like, okay, oh yeah, I hear you, but if you heard me, you wouldn't do the same thing that I just told you that you just did, type stuff. So, and I'm just learning. So,
yeah, I think people need to do more listening and not so much of like talking over each other and actually working together on a team.
Mm-hmm.
My question to you, KD, what part of New York are you from?
Brooklyn, Brownsville.
Okay. All right. So Brooklyn, the BK. So
Mm-hmm.
with the BK, my question for you is, how has Brooklyn evolved over time? And do you like old Brooklyn or do you like new Brooklyn?
So I've been in Syracuse for 2 years now. Before that, I was in Rochester for 2 years, and before that, I want to say I was just like moving around or whatever. But I haven't been in New York City for about 9 or 8 years now. Like I go back and forth. I still go out there to watch tournaments or whatever, just to see the aesthetics and what's going on.
Yeah.
And I would say that it has changed a lot. Of course, I love the old, like Brooklyn, New York City. Like I love the old, but with the new, like I get it. I understand the change, but if we could go back, I would love to do that.
What do you miss about old Brooklyn?
Um, that's a good question. I can't even, because it's like so much, and I haven't even been out there for a while. So, like I said, like I don't even know, what's the new stuff that's going on out there. Honestly.
All right, fair enough. I mean, I've spent some time in Brooklyn. My grandmother grew up in Brooklyn. My dad's mom, so she grew up on Atlantic Avenue.
Mm.
So what's your next question for me?
Uh, Next question. That's good. So what's I'm trying to understand your your, I wouldn't say beef, but what's your thoughts on LeBron? Like,
So my thought, I mean, I respect him I respect his talent, and I respect his work ethic. Obviously, he has muscle, he has strength, he has God-given ability. Where I struggle with LeBron is his lack of sportsmanship. I'm a Raptors fan. When he played the Raptors and he scored on a shot with like 1 point whatever seconds left,
mm,
he was in a press conference and he spent the whole press conference talking about himself.
wow.
I didn't hear him talk about his teammates. It was like, oh, LeBron, there was 1 point whatever seconds left. Like, bring me into the play. And he's like, oh, I do that all the time. I do it in practice all the time. I make the shot all the time. And it's like, all right, well, I didn't know that you were coming in here like Jesus. I mean, that's so to me, it's just, and I waited and I was like, that man in 13 minutes didn't say a dang thing about any of his teammates.
Mm-hmm.
And so to me, it's not a beef. It's a question of like, you're good, but with a lack of sportsmanship and a lack of gamesmanship and being a teammate and the selfishness. I mean, who goes to the All-Star game and then tells people before the All-Star game, I'm not playing, which essentially is you saying, I stole a spot from someone in the NBA so that I could sit on my butt and watch the game like anybody else. Like, you know what I mean? It's like when he walked off the floor in the Raptors playoff game, there's like 4 minutes left in the game. They knew they were going to lose. And he put his head down and he walked off the floor and into the locker room. And he didn't come out to shake hands as far as I could see or anything. So I look back at those moments and I go, people mimic that. And when he's winning, he feels good. When he's losing, when is it LeBron's fault? When have we heard LeBron say, this was me, it's on me, I made a bad pass, I took a bad shot? I mean, Michael Jordan, it's in the gym that y'all played in. There's a Michael Jordan quote of like, I missed 700 shots, I missed these game winners, I did this and that, but I never quit. Jordan kept shooting, and Jordan made people around him better. LeBron, to me, like, if the conversation is Jordan or LeBron, I would say to you, when did Michael Jordan wear the same number as someone else? When did he star in the same movie as someone else? If LeBron is better than Jordan, why was he wearing 23 and why is he making Space Jam? It's like he's trying to be better at Jordan than Jordan thinks. And so it's like, just be you, LeBron. Like, Kobe was 24, allegedly, because it was like, well, I'm the next best, right? So like he's 23, I'm 24. But the thing with Kobe is Kobe played in All-Star games. Kobe scored what, like 60 points in his like last game. Kobe could win with different people on the team. Like LeBron,
he sits there and forms team, and I would just want to say this. I was just watching that documentary on the All-Star team.
Yeah.
That just came out. And I only watched the first 2 episodes or whatever. We're gonna finish it. But just seeing how like LeBron literally just because the team last year, I mean the team before them, they didn't win or whatever. They literally sat there and said that LeBron was the one that called all these players up, and he was the one that wanted to, like, granted, I give him his respect to do that, but I just don't, the way he go about things, like, I don't understand. Like,
yeah, and I mean, to me, I've given him opportunity when he walked off the floor against Toronto, lack of sportsmanship. Because he lost. Because if he had won, he would have been sitting there giggling, laughing, slapping hands with people. He would have been on the floor. And to me, it's like, how do you go to an all-star game? He gets interviewed and somebody's talking to him about playing in the game. And he's like, I'm not playing in the game. And people are like, well, then why are you here?
Yeah.
So, I mean,
the show.
So to me, it's like, congratulations. You're an all-star who's sitting on the bench, who took a spot from someone who's working really hard in the NBA that would have loved to play in that game. And so it's just, it's that. It's the selfishness and it's the lack of sportsmanship that I struggle with, because I respect him as a player. And I would have him on the show and I would talk with him and pick his brain and respect him like anybody else. I just don't understand. I don't think that way.
Yeah.
I don't think in that light. I don't think it's like when LeBron went to LA, everybody had to sign a 1-year deal because it's a LeBron audition. He's Simon Cowell. This is now American Idol. And like that to me, like if I'm going to a LeBron team and I can't sign any more than a 1-year contract because we all have to prove our worth to him. Like, I'm sorry, bro, but there's Jesus and then there's everybody else. And there's no middle part where like there's Jesus and then you and then everybody else. So I like I said, I respect his abilities and his talent, but him and I would treat the game differently. It looks like, unless I'm completely wrong and I sit down with him and he says, no, this is not what I am at all. But what I've seen from him is a lack of sportsmanship, and I'm all about sportsmanship. So my question back to you, KD. I feel like I had one. My question back to you. Okay, how about this? If you were running for president of the United States, who would be your vice president? Could be anybody. Who would be your vice president, and what would you want your campaign slogan to be?
That's a good question. Who would I want to be my vice president? A lot of people might be like, "Oh my God, why you didn't pick me?" But I ain't gonna lie, I have this good friend. Her name is Blatane Smith. She would probably be my vice president. She's a great friend. And my slogan campaign. I might have to tap into with my vice president and come back to you on that one. I ain't gonna lie.
Okay. All right. What's your last question for me?
All right, last question. What is your favorite sport?
Basketball. I mean, I've gotten to know so many different people, and through them, gotten to know so many different sports. And on the show, I mean, we've covered crew, bowling, volleyball, field hockey, volleyball, baseball, softball, basketball, football, hockey, soccer, on and on and on and on. And So I have respect for anybody that's going out there and chasing their dream, whatever that may be. As long as you're not hurting anybody, you got my support to chase those dreams. And I would say basketball because I grew up playing it. I got recruited D3. I can shoot. And, I mean, obviously my butt needs to be in the gym more. But I've always been able to shoot from anywhere. Well, I should say I've been able to shoot, and then I trained myself to get farther and farther. But, yeah, I mean, basketball is one of the few things in my life that I could shut my brain off, think about absolutely nothing, just, like, genuinely feel the air, think of God, see the ball go in the basket, and that's it. I can never leave without making the final shot. And I respect the game. To this day, if there's a basketball, I mean, after your game, I was shooting. If there's a basketball in a gym and I can go out there and shoot for a minute, I'm going to do it. And it's regardless of age. I could be feeling terrible. I could be sick. I could be injured. I could be anything. If there's a basketball and there's a court, I'm going to pick that ball up and I'm going to shoot and I'm going to demand excellence for myself. And what people don't understand is, like, if I make a shot, they're like, oh, and I'm like, yeah, well, I missed the first 9. Like, in my head, I'm like, now you got to shoot 10 more. Now you got to make 9 out of 10. So I've just always been that way. It's been built inside of me that I command a lot out of myself. And when it comes to basketball, I absolutely command a lot from myself. And I will shoot the same shot repeatedly. If I've decided that I need to make that shot, I will do whatever I need to do to make that shot. So
Gotcha.
My question back to you. If you could pick any 3 people, could be sports players, could be anybody, could be friends, could be literally anybody. If you could pick 3 people to play a game of horse with right now, and we lost KD here for a second. Oh, we're bringing her back. So let's see here. All right, KD, give me 1 second. I'm bringing you back in.
Hello?
So if the question was, if you could play horse with any 3 people in the world, they could be athletes, they could just be friends, they could be any entertainers, anybody. You pick 3 people to play a game of horse with. Who do you pick?
My mom, Nancy Jones, that's my mother. Kevin Durant for sure. And one more person. Trying to think of a celebrity here. Keke Palmer.
Okay. All right. So why that group? Why mom? KD, we know you love KD, but why mom and why Keke Palmer?
Well, with my mom, it's been a while since I spoken to her, and I just kind of miss her or whatever. So, and she's not passed away or whatever. It's just family stuff. Haven't spoken to her in a while. And Keke Palmer, I liked her ever since The Killer and the Bee when she couldn't spell. Nah, let me stop. But I just think that she's so funny, and just like with her. Just like with Kevin Durant, I would love to meet her. And then the crazy thing is, me being from New York City, playing basketball, outside or whatever in the summer. It was one time when I had the chance to meet Kevin Durant, but I was when you're a kid, basketball, all the other things. I was so upset that I left my the basketball game was over. We won a championship and all that, but I was just so focused on going home, going back to my friends. And then Kevin Durant, he came right after, and I was like, dang, that could have been my time to really meet him. And I was in high school, maybe in the 11th, 10th grade.
Well,
so yeah.
I will say this, if it was a time where, so it wasn't meant to happen at that time, but if you're meant to cross paths with Kevin Durant, it's going to happen. Just keep putting that energy out there, praying to God, putting that positive energy out there. You'll meet Kevin. Maybe you'll meet Kevin and Keke on the same day. Who knows? So with that being said, KD Jones, Bobcat Buzz, Bryant Stratton College of Syracuse, women's basketball assistant coach, as well as alum, as a student athlete, and the acting leader in the second half of this season for the 2024-25 season. KD, it has been my pleasure to have you on the broadcast here today, and I look forward to keeping in touch with you, seeing your journey, and seeing everything that life gives you when you go out there and work for it. So I appreciate your time. I appreciate what you've done for the women this year and in general, and I look forward to talking with you soon.
Thank you. I appreciate you too. And this was like a wonderful experience for me. Like, this is my first time being on the podcast, like even getting interviewed about, like, you know, my basketball experience. So I really do appreciate you.
Yeah, absolutely. It's my pleasure. So to the original KD, the OG KD, we wish you a wonderful day. We'll talk with you soon.
Thank you, man.
Take care. That coming from KD Jones here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports meets life. We're going to take a step aside inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios. When we come back, we will wrap up today's broadcast because somehow it's 11 o'clock. So, like, I don't, you know, time flies when you're having fun. This conversation started at the top of the hour, and I was like, oh, okay, like, we'll talk with KD for a little bit. We'll have some time before 11 o'clock, and now it's past 11 o'clock. Incredible. So we'll be back right after this inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios. Here's a message from Renee from Bryan's Landing, located on 6523 East Seneca Turnpike in Jamesville, New York. Open Tuesdays and Wednesdays for dinner, Thursday through Saturday for lunch and dinner, and Sundays for brunch.
It's a lot like the way that my mom and dad ran their restaurant. We have put in place a lot of people that are family to us, very similar to how my dad hired people that were family to him. And then the tradition I'm carrying on is a lot of the items that are on our menu are my dad's. And he taught our chefs how to recreate his dishes. So I think that Tommy McNerney, who our executive chef is, to him it is an art. And I think that when he does create a dish, it's not just about making the food taste delicious, which is definitely our priority, but it's an art to him, and it's almost like his canvas on a plate where he just wants the colors to look great, and people love it because he takes pride in that. And Brian and I appreciate that. We want it to obviously look good and taste good. I will tell you, when we opened up, it was 6 weeks before COVID. And what was amazing was the community, our friends and family stepped up, and everybody did takeout. Everybody supported us. Our hearts were just so filled. So to Brian and I, obviously our friends come all the time, and we just have repeat customers in Jamesville, and I think people going to our previous restaurant in Green Lakes are making the trip to come to Bryan's Landing to support us. And I mean, I think we have great food and a great atmosphere. So it's very, very important to us.
Head to Bryan's Landing, located on 6523 East Seneca Turnpike in Jamesville, New York, where memories have become recipes that are now meals to share with you. Tuesdays and Wednesdays for dinner, Thursday through Saturday for lunch and dinner, and on Sundays for brunch. And be sure to come out for live music Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Here is a special message from Brian Bruno, owner of Servomation Refreshments Incorporated.
I grew up in the family business, had the experience of working for a national food service company with thousands of employees, and as much as I enjoyed the experience I had, there's something about, owning my own company and being able to change the things I saw wrong with the industry firsthand, which is why I moved back to my hometown in Canastota, New York to launch Servomation. It was back in 2007. When we first started the business in 2007, really you didn't find any machines with credit card readers. There's a lack of variety in machines. You got stuck with basically whatever the vending company wanted to sell that day. There's a lot of inefficiencies in the business, and those were all things that we saw as opportunities, both from a customer level to improve and from an operating level to be more efficient. We've really been at the forefront of introducing retail technology into our space. We were doing self-checkout back in 2009 before it really became a national phenomenon. The whole point of it isn't to just improve the customer experience. It's to make it feel more like a retail environment where people don't have to be afraid of what they're buying behind glass. They don't have to be afraid of not being able to see the ingredients of the packages. It was an easy transaction from that standpoint. If we were to reinvent something, we wanted to make sure what we were making looked and felt more like a deli and not like something that you would traditionally see in a vending machine. I was tired of hearing for years the customers say the wheel of death because the vending machine would circle around with the same tuna salad in it. What we wanted to do was it really changed the perception of that food. So allowing customers to touch it, allowing customers to feel the weight of it, allow customers to see the freshness of it, and also the variety of it really helps them change the perception and ultimately the value of what we bring to them. The point of differentiation you have to make is either in value or the quality. And I think on both of those fronts, Servamation has really, in large part, changed that value system for employees. So they no longer have to worry about bringing their food from home or having to leave their desk during the day and rush out to get back in time for their break to end. We're bringing something that they can count on in their break room every day, and they know it's going to be there, they know it's going to be fresh, and they don't have to worry about it being sold out or something that they don't enjoy. We've also heavily invested in flavored water machine, so you can get a glass of water with a fresh piece of fruit in it, along with bean to cup coffee machine. So there's not a day that goes by we're not surprised when we get customers that call us and say, we didn't know you could do all this. We're really lucky to have a strong group of dedicated employees. Most of our employees have been with us since inception. They're family to us, and people like doing business with people they like and trust. And I think the same thing goes for employees. And in a day and an age where there's a lot of corporations that just look at an employee as a number and don't get to know them, that's just not the way I was raised or how I like to do business. So we're a little old-fashioned. We like getting close to our employees. We like knowing how we can help them. We like knowing how we can improve their lives, adjust their schedules, whatever it may be to help improve their quality of life. And we think in the end that makes for a happier employee. We're fortunate enough to have really grown over the last several years, and from Pennsylvania to Massachusetts to Connecticut, we really do have a strong connection, even though we're not in the rooms every day with these employees. There's not one single employee that we feel like we don't know, and certainly we know they can call us at any time, and they're definitely treated as family to us. I wake up every single day really excited to surprise our customers in a good way. The one thing I can tell you is I think that every one of our employees and every one of our customers will continue to be at the forefront of every decision we make.
Find out how Servomation can help you and your business by going to servomation.com. Avicoli's, located on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road in Liverpool, New York, has been your trusted neighbor for decades. Located just steps from Liverpool High School, we're happy to have the Liverpool Warriors on-site, on-location broadcast at Avicoli's through Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora every single month, featuring student athletes, coaches, and administration throughout the year from Liverpool High School. Head out to Avicoli's today on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road in Liverpool, New York, open Tuesday through Sunday for lunch, dinner, and drinks. We'd love to see you out there, and of course you can call them at 315-622-5100 for takeout, delivery, and catering. That's 315-622-5100, and also find them on myavicollis.com. That's myavicollis.com. Having peace of mind when you're out of town that your furry-loving friend is safe and sound means taking them to Canine Kampground, because we all know that when it comes to the love of our pets, it goes well beyond the call of duty to make sure they're safe and sound. Right, Lily? So take a ride to 242 Johnson Street in East Syracuse, New York, and see Canine Kampground and where your dog will be staying, in the classic cabin, the executive cabin, the grand cabin, or of course the luxury cabin, because if you know Lily, you know she loves luxury. Now you don't have to wait to the last minute to find a family member or a friend that'll take your dog for a few days. Call Canine Kampground at 315-299-4013. That's 315-299-4013. Their drop-off and pickup times are Monday through Sunday. Check K9Kampground.com for more information. That's the letter K, the number 9, and Kampground spelled with a K.com. K9Kampground.com.
When you're going out of town, bring your dog to K9 Kampground.
Looking for your next ride? Look no further than Great Lakes Honda City, located on 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Serving our community for decades, their new and pre-owned vast array of vehicles are available to you Monday through Saturday on site. To search from home, shop at GreatLakesHondaCity.com. Call 315-365-5576 to set up an appointment. That's 315-365-5576 for Great Lakes Honda City, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Great cars, great people, Great Lakes.
Carvel DeWitt, it's what happy tastes like. Do you know why? Because we make ice cream. Creamy, rich, flavorful ice cream. Not yogurt or iced milk like some of our competitors. Ice cream. Fresh, by hand, daily. For the calorie conscious, we have something new for you. Our new Carvelite. Same great flavor, creaminess, and texture of our regular ice cream with only 35 calories an ounce. So whether you want an ice cream cake, flying saucer, dasher, carvalanche, hard or soft ice cream, we will satisfy your craving with our fresh, handmade regular or new Carvelite ice cream. Carvel DeWitt. It's what happy tastes like.
The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is located on 3680 Milton Avenue in the Home Depot Plaza. It is your family-friendly sports bar and restaurant. Folks, some sports bars aren't family-friendly. Some family-friendly restaurants are not sports bars. The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is proud to be both. It is that marriage that you've been looking for years. The Wildcat Sports Pub is your home base for your sports bar and restaurant needs, games for the kids, indoor and outdoor activities, and enough things on the menu to come back every single week and get to try something new. They're open Sundays from noon to 8 p.m., Monday through Wednesday, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., and Thursday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to midnight. For reservations and party information, call 315-487-2222 for the Wildcat family-friendly sports pub and restaurant.
GG Cards and Breaks. Like, comment, subscribe.
GG Cards and Breaks coming to you on 639 Delmar Place in Syracuse, New York is your one-stop trading card and sports card shop. Find GG Cards and Breaks open Tuesday through Saturday from 10 to 6 and on Sundays from 10 to 5. GG Cards and Breaks has hockey, soccer, basketball, baseball, football, as well as Disney Lorcana, Magic the Gathering, Yu-Gi-Oh!, Pokemon, and more, including Marvel cards, Garbage Pail Kids. You could find so many different things while supplies last at GG Cards and Breaks. Head out there today and bring something home for you. Bring something home for your loved ones. GG Cards and Breaks truly keeps us big kids all the time, and I can't thank them enough for the support that they have brought to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora and Dan Tortora Broadcast Media, and all of the wonderful people that I've met in our sports card and trading card world that all calls GG Cards and Breaks home. See them at their home on 639 Delmar Place in Syracuse, New York, right off of Teal Ave. Open Tuesday through Saturday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. and on Sundays from 10 to 5. Here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside the Great Lakes Honda City Studios, I want to thank you for tuning in to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Inside of MonPawsPopcorn.com's What's Poppin', bringing you the annoying moment of the week, proudly presented by Carvel DeWitt, the home of my own Sunday, the DT Dolphin, an ode to the Lemoyne Dolphins. Go and get it today and any day of the week. On Wednesdays, it's buy one, get one. And of course, and you can only get it at Carvel DeWitt, 4322 East Genesee Street in DeWitt, New York. The wonderful team at Chick-fil-A Cicero bringing us Lead, Learn, Evolve, Ad-Lib, and Deliver, as well as our video series, The Light Between Us, where I get to sit down with team members individually of Chick-fil-A Cicero, and they tell their story. The story coming up is with a wonderful, wonderful soul who comes to us from the Congo all the way to Cicero, New York, and working at Chick-fil-A Cicero. So I can't wait to share that conversation with you coming up here over the weekend. And the top dog of the week, honoring our guest in the Bobcat Buzz and that being KD Jones, assistant coach and former player at Bryant Stratton College of Syracuse for women's basketball, who stepped up and was the acting head coach with Tae Baker, the head coach, out due to injury and surgery. So God bless to Tae and a speedy recovery and a full recovery. And, of course, God bless to KD Jones and to all of the wonderful student-athletes, including our seniors, Deonce, as well as Janae and Eunice. Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora comes to you Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time, where sports meets life on YouTube.com and Facebook.com, both /WakeUpCallDT, and on WakeUpCallDT.podbean.com. You can also find us on Amazon Music, Audible, iHeartRadio, iTunes, and Apple Podcasts, Player FM, Podbean, Podchaser.com, Podvine, Spotify, TuneIn, and YouTube. And, of course, all you have to do is search Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, or one word, Wake Up Call DT. And, of course, from New York to North Carolina, the Brooklyn Pickle that we love up here in central and upstate New York has found its way all the way down to the state that is first in flight. Head to Southern Pines in North Carolina, 1788 Old Morganton Road, specifically in Southern Pines, North Carolina, right down the road from Pinehurst Golf Course that the PGA Tour utilizes. You will find this Brooklyn Pickle less than 10 minutes from the golf course, 1788 Old Morganton Road in Southern Pines, North Carolina. Let them know the DT sent you. Big thanks to all of our partners in central and upstate New York. Great Lakes Honda City, Carvel DeWitt, the Wildcat Sports Pub, GG Cards and Brakes, Ma and Pa's, the snack capital of the world, Avicoli's, Canine Camp Dog Daycare, Mother's Cupboard, Servomation, Chick-fil-A Cicero, Pizza Man, Canine Kampground Dog Boarding, Brian's Landing, and we are the exclusive multimedia marketing partner of your Lemoyne College Dolphins. It's Fins Up every single month on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Giving Day is next week on Thursday. And so you do not want to miss a moment of 24 hours of giving where you can give to the wonderful Lemoyne College and help out their students, their student athletes, the entire campus as we move forward in this Fin family together. It's going to be Thursday, March 6th. So on Wednesday, March 5th, I will be bringing you a special going into Giving Day, on the eve of Giving Day, a special message on giving and why you should give and some of the things and the initiatives that you can give to. That'll all be coming up exclusively on Wake Up Call. Wednesdays at 9 a.m. Eastern Time is Dolphin Time, just like it will be on Wednesday, March 5th. And, of course, you can find all of our content by going to youtube.com/WakeUpCallDT. Click subscribe, hit the notification bell, and find our Lemoyne Dolphins playlist. You can also find the Dolphins on WakeUpCallDT.com's homepage and underneath the exclusive partners tab. For more information, go to LemoyneDolphins.com and Fins Up. The Bryant Stratton College Bobcats of Syracuse are exclusive multimedia marketing partners with Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Find the Bobcat Buzz every single month, and you found two of them this week. The bookends, we had Clay Gagan Sherman coming to us at the beginning of the week, and here to round, and for men's basketball, and to round out the week, women's basketball, we had Bryant Stratton College of Syracuse assistant coach KD Jones. So we got to do two Bobcat Buzz specials this week alone, and we appreciate everything that the Bobcats bring to our wonderful exclusive multimedia marketing partnership. We call it the Bobcat Buzz. Student athletes, coaches, and administration joining us every month. Find our content on youtube.com/WakeUpCallDT. Click subscribe, hit the notification bell, and find our BSC Syracuse playlist. You'll also find the Bobcats by going to WakeUpCallDT.com's homepage and underneath the exclusive partners tab. For more information, go to syracuse.bscbobcats.com and go Bobcats. The Binghamton University Bearcats are exclusive multimedia marketing partners with Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Find your Bearcats every single Tuesday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time during Bearcat Time. Student athletes, coaches, and administration joining us all throughout the year. And we are officially on March 1st heading into year 2. Hard to believe a year's already gone by. Year 2 with the Binghamton University Bearcats and our exclusive multimedia marketing partnership. They have renewed their partnership, and we will head into year 2 officially on March 1st of 2025, which is tomorrow for all of those playing the home game. You can find all of our content by going to youtube.com/wakeupcalldt. Click subscribe, hit the notification bell, and find the Binghamton playlist. The Bearcats are also on wakeupcalldt.com's homepage and underneath the exclusive partners tab. For more information, go to binghamtonbearcats.com. And I'll be out in Binghamton to watch the women's basketball team tomorrow at 2 p.m. I hope you'll join me at the event center. Go Bearcats. With that being said, thank you so much for tuning into the show. Facebook at WakeUpCallDT, X at CallDT, Instagram at WakeUpCall_DT. As we always say here on Wake Up Call, God bless, no stress, do your best. From the Great Lakes Honda City Studios, you are amazing. Be kind to each other, be good to each other. Do not be a hypocrite, and practice just goodness and love. It doesn't take anything to say hello and smile, so make sure you do that. God bless y'all. Take care.